morning. Hi guys, happy Monday. um Hopefully you guys have been doing good and all that good stuff. All right, I wanted to wish you guys a good week, so hopefully you guys have a good week and a good Monday. And I know today's September 11th, so my condolences go out to all the families that lost someone on this day, so so today I'm gonna be really calm and enjoy the day, and kind of make it chill, because I know it might be heavy on a lot of other people that may have lost someone, on this day. So yeah, I'm just gonna be vibe today, literally. But yeah, it's so I remember before the tragedy occurred on this day. I think I was in 7th grade, and I had, I think I was in 7th grade when this happened. So this is before I was really having crazy downloads and dreams and stuff of my future and stuff. So I remember I had this dream, and the dream was crazy. So I was in this car, right? And it was dark. So I was in the back seat of this car, and I remember my oldest sister at the time, she was sitting next to me, and we're both in the back seat, right? And we were just driving, and there's these two guys, and they're driving in the front. There's a guy driving and a guy in the passenger seat, and they're just driving, right? And we're in the back seat, and I was just looking around where are we going? So I was asking my sister, I was like, where are we going? And she didn't say anything, but the driver, he looked at the other guy in the passenger seat, and then he looked back at me, and he was like, we're going to New York. And I was like, weird, I was just looking at him okay. And so sorry. So after he said we're going to New York, I just remember being in the streets of New York, and I was just walking the streets of New York, just walking around. I just remember walking around New York by myself and just exploring, I guess. And then all of a sudden, I just remember me being inside this building. I was in an elevator, and there's people with me in the elevator, and I remember the door was closing. It closed. I remember the door closing. That's how I know I was in an elevator. And then it started going up, and then everything was calm, right? And then all of a sudden, the elevator starts shaking really bad, right? Rumbling, and you could just see glass flying everywhere. And it just looked like it was collapsing inside the elevator, and people were screaming and flipping out pretty much and screaming. And I just remember glass flying everywhere. And then I would just remember hearing a choir singing. It was this choir, and there's people singing in this choir, and I think I heard that before the elevator started shaking really bad and rumbling, and then glass started flying everywhere and people screaming, right? And so then after that, I just remember being in my living room, and there's all these bodies on the floor in our living room, and there's people covered up with white sheets laying on our floor in our living room. And I was just like, what the heck? So I was walking in the living room, looking at all these people that were passed away, and they had white sheets over them and stuff, right? And I remember I was so freaked out. I think I woke up after that, but I remember I was really freaked out, and I was just like, what the heck does this dream mean? So I remember that was before I even started having dreams like that. And so it was really vivid. And so the way, because it stood out so significant to me, I remember running upstairs, and my mom was getting ready for work, and I told her my dream, and I was like telling her what happened. I was like, this is crazy because my sister is in a dream too, you know. So I was just like, I don't know what that means. There's people dead, you know. And I told her what happened, and she's like, that's crazy. And I was like, I don't know why I dreamt that. What do you think of me? You know, and she didn't know. So what I did, I remember that day, that's the day when I was like, I'm going to start making I make a journal of my dreams. So I always had this journal that I would write all my dreams down in, right? Because I may have had one more incident before that, another dream before that, and that came true and stuff. So I remember that day I made a decision to get like a journal to write all my dreams down so I remember them, you know. And sure enough, like, I think it may have been it was like maybe months later, I remember I was in my classroom. That's when I was in 7th grade, and I didn't know anything about the Twin Towers at the time at all. Nothing. Sorry, there's like flies and stuff over here. But I didn't know anything about Twin Flowers, or sorry, the Twin Towers or anything like that, right? And so I remember I was in the classroom, and they turned on the TV, and I was freaking out, and I seen the crash and everything. Like, they kept showing it, you know, and everybody's like freaking out, and I was like, oh my God, I think I dreamt about this. Because like, just like I don't know, the building that I was in was like a tall building. I remember it was a tall building. And then I just remember people screaming and stuff, and me being in the elevator, right? And so I just put two and two together. I was like, I think I dreamt about this, you know. And I didn't tell anybody in the class, but I was just sitting there looking like, what the heck? I was like, maybe this is part of my dream, because I remember dreaming about this. But I had no clue I didn't know anything about Twin Towers, nothing like that, you know, at the time. And so I remember I went home and I told my mom about it, and I was just like, remember that dream I told you about? And she's like, you did say that you did have a dream like that, right? And so, yeah, I will never forget that. That's why I will never forget 9/11, because of that freaking dream I had right before. It was like months before it happened too, if not a year. I think I may have been sixth or 7th grade when I actually dreamt it, but it actually happened. I think I was in 7th grade when it happened. But it's pretty crazy, man. It's really crazy. And that always happens to me too, because I think I dreamt of another thing like that, and it was not too long ago. It was I remember I was at my sister's house, and I went to sleep, and I remember the whole night I was dreaming about like this guy. He came through this club or this building that we're in, and I remember I was in a bathroom, and I was using the bathroom, and this guy came in, and he was looking for a certain type of people. I think he was looking for Americans, and I was American, so I was just like, oh my gosh, you know. And he opened the door and he looked at me, but he didn't do anything to me. He kind of left, but he's looking for a certain type of people, right? And I was just like, oh my gosh. And so like after that, I think like we're trying to escape and run, you know, because there's like multiple guys with guns, you know, and they're like walking through this hall, and like we're running down the hall trying to escape. And I just remember trying to escape through this building, and then all of a sudden I just remember being under this car in this parking lot, and I was hiding under the car, and I just remember hearing gunshots and like people getting killed, and like I could see them too, because I was seeing them under the car from where I was hiding, you know. I could see them getting shot and stuff, and I was just like, oh my God. And so I remember I woke up and I told my sister, I was like, I had this crazy dream last night, and I was telling her the dream, like literally, and we're just sitting there talking about it, right? And then she had got on the internet, I guess, and she was like, oh my God. And she was like, I was like, what? She's like, something happened in a nightclub in Florida. I think it was in Florida, and I think it was a gay club or something like that. And she said that the people there was like a shooting at the club, and like a lot of people died. And I was like, oh my God, that's like my dream that we're just talking about. And we are just like, that's so crazy. She's like, that's so crazy, you're just telling me about your dream that you just had. Like, it's like I was probably like dreaming about it while it was happening. And so she's like, that's so crazy, because how would you even know that that happened? You know, it just popped up, and we were just talking about it. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning. And it's just crazy. I always have dreams like that. And it just seemed like I was like dreaming about it while it was happening. It's freaking crazy. And so I always have certain dreams like that. And that's why I try to pay attention to my dreams and stuff, you know. And I try not to forget them. I used to be able to remember majority of them, but they're coming back to me, you know. So the more that I get my rest, the more I'll be able to pick up on more, I think, on things. So I don't know, it's crazy, but I will never forget the 9/11 dream, because I had no clue about what the Twin Towers was at all, and like at all. And I was super young then, so I don't know, that dream freaked me out, and what happened afterwards freaked me out more, because I didn't expect it to come true. You know. And the reason why I put two and two together is because when he looked at me, when I asked him where we were going, I asked her where we were going, but he answered. And when he answered, you know, I was just like, when he said New York, like specifically, and I had no connection with New York. Like, I didn't think about New York or nothing like that. I was just like, what? So I know I wasn't thinking about New York before I went to sleep or anything like that. So when he said New York, though, that is what clicked in my mind, because whenever I seen the tragedy on TV in the classroom, you know, I was like, that's when I was like, oh my God, I think I dreamt about this, because it was in New York, you know. And so it's freaking crazy. So I will never forget that day. And you know, my condolences go out to the family that actually lost people, because it's unfortunate, and that people lose their lives over things like that doesn't matter, you know. It's just annoying, you know. So yeah, I don't know, but I hope you guys have a good day. I just wanted to come and wish you guys a good Monday and a good week, you know. Yeah. And all that good stuff. So I'm gonna get out of here before it get too hot. But I don't want to talk you guys' heads off. But yeah, I'll never forget that day. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll be on later this week to talk to you guys. So I'll see you guys later. Love you. Bye.